that I use when I upload some new videos or audio. My name is Bernadette Garcia, and I am a psychic medium. And what I do on this particular channel is I upload a lot of content of things that's happening like right now, or if some people are thinking about developing our abilities. Okay, so okay, my little thing is tipping over. Anyway, this is live with all the bloopers and mishaps. What better way to do this? So anyway, I posted in the description is like a 2025 introduction of myself. Okay. And like I said, I am a psychic medium. And what does that mean? It means that I can clairvoyantly see angels. I can see loved ones. I can communicate with loved ones. I can communicate with angels, any heavenly beings of light. That's what a medium is that goes beyond the psychic parameters. The psychic part is that I'm able to get images and also like words, colors, places, states, names, and it would be like a flash, or sometimes just a word, or sometimes it would show up in my mind's eye, like a video screen, and I'm watching a video clip of what's happening. All right, that type of thing. Also, I can hear spirit, I can hear angels. Um, you know, that type of thing. Also, I'm an empath, so I sense a lot of the living people uh, vibration and like whatever their state is. Like if they're sad, I'm gonna sense it. I'm gonna feel it, and if they're happy, I'm gonna feel that as well. It's like we each of us provide our own vibe. You know, we have a energy frequency that we project our own vibe. Hi, I see we got people here. Yay, awesome. If you like my channel, please like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Um, and I'm going to be coming up with a lot of new stuff for 2025 because this whole entire year is going to be a lot of challenges, a lot of energy influx going on, especially with the moon phases going to happen this year. Okay, and that's going to pretty much affect a lot of us, even if we're not spiritually or no religious background. It doesn't matter. We're going to get moody. Okay, I just put it that way. Um, so uh, so what I'm going to do for this year is that I'm going to upload more video content. So if you're new to my channel, look at all my video contacts. So they're kind of old, but I'm going to upgrade for this year so we get some new stuff, okay? And also, if there's something that maybe you're interested in that I haven't touched on, go ahead and leave it in the comments, and then I can go ahead and run a video with that as well. And maybe you have questions. I can answer your questions through a video. What better way to do that, right? Okay, so I also do tarot cards. I only do the 3 card spread, okay, because there's not really necessary to do like a 10 card spread. That is just unnecessary in my opinion, my own opinion, because 3 cards is basically all that you actually need to get some answers and some clarity. Okay, because I know the 3 card they'll say one for the past, one for what you're in the state now, and then the future, right? But I don't see it that way, and the spirit don't see it that way as well, because what they want to deal with is what's happening to your life now. So if you come for a reading, like a tarot card reading, you get a 3 card spread, and this is like encapsulates what's happening now. And what it does is that it explains different different facts. Maybe you're going through an issue. And so what it does is it identifies the issue, and then it gives you kind of like, and then the second card might even give you some options, and then the third card will give you, being supported, or maybe something that you need to change that's happening in your life right now. Okay, because it doesn't really serve a purpose for you if you want to know about the past, because you already know about the past, and the spirit and your loved one knows about the past, and they don't want to talk about the past. They want to move forward with you, and they want to help you thrive in your life. Okay, so a lot of times what these cards do is that they encapsulate what's happening in the now. All right, so what better do that? Okay, to move forward and learn by getting the information that your soul needs right now, not from what's in the past and things, because what happens is that they want to spirit, either your spirit guides or your loved ones or your spirit teachers, or if it's, even if it's your religion, if you have any type of religion background, they're all supporting you in this, when you want to learn about yourself and you want to thrive and you want to be better and you want to overcome certain obstacles, but you need like some ideas, or an alternative. Okay, so that's what they're all there for, is to support you. Okay, so let me think. Um, okay, so I also do angel therapy, and not too many people understand what that means. What it means is that I communicate with the angels, and depending on your situation, say like maybe you just want more like a release of stress, and you need maybe some answers to something to maybe help you like calm your fears and your anxieties and things like that. Well, that's what the angel therapy is that the angel therapy has this vibe, the high energy frequency vibe that brings a calmness over you. And that's what I do is I connect with the angels, and it's a sort of like a energy work, so to speak, but it's angelic energy work. If you could think about that, okay? I mean, that's mind blowing in itself. Angelic energy work. And that's what angel therapy, to me, how I understand what by the angels, how what that means, how I work with them doing this. Okay. So that's part of the angel therapy. I also do angel oracle cards. I do the same thing, 3 card spread. And get messages from the angels, and I don't sugarcoat nothing. I don't lie. I tell it to straight. I don't tell. I also, if there's like a certain issue, like maybe that you need to be confronted with, the spirit has a way to bring that forth in a loving way, not in a way where it's attacking you or that you feel defensive. But what their message is in a loving way that you understand, and also, we're all human, so we make mistakes, all right, and some of us keep making the same mistakes. But what happens is that we have to learn to break that cycle of mistakes. And that's how all these cycles of repeating history, you hear about that, right? Well, in order to break that repeating history, is that you need to alter. And angel therapy also helps you with that as well. Okay. And see what else. Oh, I do teach some courses. I have my own group. If you look in detail, um, my detail, my bio, it has my group link in there, and I do have a group in Facebook. And what it is that if it's called spirit awareness, uh, psychic abilities, and spirit awareness and mediumship. So it's like a developing type group, but it's for all levels, and it is not a readers type group. It's uh, strictly learning, all right, and teaching, and also practicing. as well. So those of us that don't know anything about psychic abilities or anything like that, this is good education to get knowledge. You don't have to do any of these tools that are given in the group. You can learn about them and get some knowledge. Maybe you get a better understanding what this all means, and because not too many people know what a psychic is, or what type of clairvoyant is, or what's clear hearing, or clairsensing, or what an empath is. There's so many people that really don't understand what that means and the mechanics how it works. All right, so that's what we talk about in this group of mine. If you do decide to join, when you click on the link, make sure you answer the questions, because there are three just simple, basic questions. Uh, Before you join, it'll ask you three questions, and then once you fill that out, and then it's pending when you submit, and then I take a look at it, and then I just don't take a look at it myself. I have the spirit teachers, because this is all run by the spirit teachers. Yes, it's my name. I created it, but I am kind of like working for them. I'm at their service. Okay, I'm just the person, the conduit that's bringing forth these tools, the bringing forth this information. Okay, they're the ones that decide what topics it needs to be come out. And a lot of times, these topics that they want to come out, I don't even know how to talk about it, right? And I asked for their help, and they said, "Don't worry about it. Just get on, make a video, and we'll take it from there." I'm like, okay, so I have to put my trust in them, what I need to say, because I mean, I didn't know how to start. And, for a while they wanted me to start this group because there's a lot of things popping up in the world, and they want to make sure that everybody's getting the right information, true, authentic information from spirit. Okay, because they were telling me that there's a lot of things popping up, and there's a lot of people that don't understand or decipher between what is spirit led and what is psychologically led by man-made led. Okay, so there's a lot of labels that assume that it's spirit led, but it's not. It's more psychological led, like a human man-made psychological type thing. It has nothing to do with spirit. Okay, so and I thought that was very interesting. I'm like, wow, that's it's like that up. And they said yes, so we need to get this group started. So I'm like, okay, so I kind of created this group that in Facebook without really knowing how to get it rolling, and what topics to talk about and how I'm going to talk about it, without getting too over the head and technical on it. So they've been helping me and guiding me and stuff like that to bring it all down to layman form, because they keep telling me we don't want to make this learning development like too intense and too hard and make people frustrated in learning, because it's not that hard. And so, and I grew up. I've been having these abilities since birth, and I have a story in my video here on my channel about how I became started into the development, and how I learned about each of my abilities. And then also there's another video of it, because I have a Christian background, and I was kind of like unsure, like uh, if my abilities is going to be in conflict with my faith. I mean, this is like a real thing. All of us think about, like, because we know that in the church it really frowns upon mediums and things like that. But and I was very firm and devoted Christian. So anything that was the metaphysics or anything like that, I didn't want anything to do with that. And I wanted to stick to the Bible, and and things like that. And I'm an empath, so I run a lot of my questions through how I feel. And that's part of being an empath. And I didn't realize this, that I'm an empath, until I learned about it. Okay. So see, so there was a lot of things that we do growing up, that we've already been doing all our lives, but we didn't realize that is part of an ability until we're taught and learned about it. Okay. So that was kind of like an eye opener for me, okay? And I was like, wow, really? And you just kind of have to look at yourself like, what? Really? I mean, I've been doing this all my life and it's an ability, you know? So this is how so natural it is. So that's how they want to come across as learning and developing how natural it is for us to learn to develop in our own way, in our own pace. Okay. Because in my group, we go at our own pace, we all learn the same tools. Okay. Okay. But the difference is that how your abilities react, I would say, interact with the tools. That's where the training comes in. That's where the learning comes in. That's where the eyes opener comes in. Is when you think back, wow, I had no idea this is an ability, and you've been doing this for years, like as long as you can remember, right? So, um, it was like a really, I wouldn't say it was a life changing thing, because it was natural for me. So, I figured everybody felt the way I felt, or everybody can hear what I can hear, or everybody can dream and have premonitions like I can. You know what I mean? So, it was so natural, and you figured, this is normal. This is normal way of life, right? But when you have somebody coming in and say, hey, don't you realize each of this little thing that's going on that you're doing is an ability, and not everybody can do certain things, okay? Because we're all unique, and we all have a certain gifts that is stronger than others. All right. I'm not saying that it's weak or anything. It's just that this particular I would say spiritual makeup or spiritual DNA is formed on how your energy frequency is. Okay, so you know, I still get fascinated, and I still learn from spirit. From the teachers and spirit teachers and all of the topics, because during my development years, I started late doing this. I mean, I got married and I had a child. I was already in my 30s, okay? And then after a while, the marriage kind of split, and then we moved to San Diego, and then so I was just focusing on my daughter, her education, and, making sure that she's got all opportunities available for her, and make sure she was getting some good schools, that'll give her open up these opportunities for her, and and I've been blessed with her because she's been getting straight A's since birth. All right, so she's very smart, and I'm so proud of her. And so the spirit, all the spirit people that want me to start working for them, they held off. They didn't interfere my like uh my daily thing that I wanted, to focus on my daughter, making sure that she's got a roof over her head, she's got food, her belly's full, she has clothes on her back, she's got all of it, necessity to all the stuff that she needs for school, and if she's involved in activities, support her with that, so also, like, she was into music, so she got some, we rented some saxophone and and horns and stuff like that throughout her junior high high school, junior high, medium school, and you know, uh, middle school, and part of high school. But the rest of high school, she was in flags. Flags is like those people that do the flags, like the marching bands, and or before the marching bands and stuff like that, or intermissions. They perform. So she does all that, and support her and got her, her gear that she needs. So I was really focused on that. So they didn't bother me back then, right? So they knew I was focused. But I was still having these little slips, like, like premonition dreams, and I still had the empath thing going on. It's sometimes I would hear somebody call my name, or someone say hello, or sometimes I would hear chimes, or piano. I'll be driving and I'll hear like little chimes, so when I hear chimes, those are from the angels. When I hear piano or any type of music chime like that would be like from the angels. Now, if I hear, say, like a radio song, then that's from a loved one. And I would know who it's from because I would remember their favorite song, radio song. And I would get, that type of thing. So it wasn't like a lot of stuff happening because I was like refocused on my daughter. So, then my daughter graduated high school and she applied for a college that's not close to home. It was in Orange County. So she got accepted, and so that is commute. So she went and lived on campus up there, and so I'm by myself with me and my cat. Okay, and so I had these big dreams about, oh, I can go and start traveling and where I want, things like that. I was like making some plans to do. It had some fun stuff, right? Well, it didn't work that way. Um, it actually, like a month later, after my daughter had left, and she settled in, and I'm kind of like rearranging the room and things like that. So it was like a month or two after that. Then that's when Spirit's saying, "Okay, it's time to get to work." And this is all part of like a dream. Okay, I was remembering parts of it, like I was somewhere and and these people comes up to me and says, "Well, aren't you going to do something or something like that?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I don't know what you're talking about. So, and then it was like reoccurring, like once or twice a week. And then, and then what happened was that I guess my abilities just starting to open up a little more. So I was hearing more stuff and I was noticing, I was feeling more stuff. And then also I was sensing energy frequency, reacting to my body as well. So there was like a lot of stuff happening, and a lot of stuff that I just could not deny. That's that is like unexplainable type thing. So 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 I kind of like kind of read a little bit about metaphysics, and I heard about the pendulum, right? So that's what I started. That was the very first thing divination I started on was a pendulum. And what I did is that, okay, and I was kind of iffy about it because I'm like, I don't want to, like get sucked into like anything witchcrafty type thing, But I kind of felt it out, the impact of me without knowing what was happening, what it meant, what I was doing. And so if like, okay, it feels okay, it doesn't feel threatening, or I don't feel scared about it when I talk about it, so I went ahead and got a pendulum, and it was like a rose quartz type pendulum. And so I used that, right? And I just asked a couple questions, I'm like, who are these people? I'm like, who are these people that's in my dream? you know, and then I just heard a word guides. And okay, so I'm like, okay, so I said, are you guides? And it said yes. Okay, so that's how it all started, you know, and then from there it just kind of snowballed into other things, and then it just and then the dreams kind of stopped, talking. And then I'm starting to see physically me being wide awake, seeing what's going on, hearing what's going on, feeling and sensing what's going on, but not really understanding, why it's happening all of a sudden. I figured I knew I had something special going on, but I just didn't know the whole title or name of it and what it meant and what the mechanics were. Like, I mean, I would, like I said, I saw the word guides. So that right there was a psychic ability, but I had no idea. It's just I saw a word in my mind's eye. I didn't pay no mind to what it meant. And that's when I questioned it. I said, "You guys guides?" And then they said yes. So it started that way. So that was the introduction of how it all began. And then from there, I kind of worded my questions to around me as far as having my guides introduce themselves, because I would say, well, how many are you? And I would go, like I had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 10, and I would put the pendulum over each number, and it would move until I got to 4, and then it started to swing. It's like, okay, I got four guides. Why do I need so many? Am I that bad? Okay, so so it was interesting. It was a learning experience. It was interesting, and it just kind of intrigued me where how it all the whole thing, how it all interacted. It was like really natural for me. And so, I wasn't afraid. I did have a lot of questions because I just had no idea what I was getting myself into, what I was doing, and what this meant or anything like that. So then my guys was trying to tell me that I need to learn some lessons, get educated. And I'm like, because I have a Christian background. So I was just like putting it off. So that was my first introduction with the guides. And learning about the guides was enough for me. Okay. And so, and the reason why I have four guides, they explained who they were and stuff. So I was okay with that. And so, but I didn't want to go any further than that. And they said, no, you have to learn all your abilities. You don't just have the empath part, that you can sense good and bad energy, or, see you can sense people vibe and stuff. You have more stuff. You have to learn about it. You have to be educated. And I'm like, I don't want to get into that. That's, because I was really hoping that, this wasn't like getting into something bad. Like, this is not for me. All right, go bother somebody else. Okay, so so basically what happened is I was just rejecting what's happening. All right, I wasn't ignoring him because I could still hear him, but it was just I was just rejecting what they were trying to tell me, because I still didn't get it, I didn't understand it, and I just didn't. And also another factor was that I just didn't want it to conflict with my faith. All right, because that was a big thing for me. So they said, okay, you know what? We're gonna get somebody else to. I'm like, who? And so that's when they went and got the angels. Okay, and then and I had dreamt about angels before, uh, and growing up, and I've always thought that was kind of the coolest thing, dreaming about angels, and sometimes I thought, wow, only if I could see one in person, right? So, so what happened was that Gabriel, all right, the angel Gabriel, and we all know that Gabriel was the, all right. So Gabriel came forward, and he came forward in my dream at first. And and says, you know what, your guides and your your spirit team is trying to talk to you about or learning about your abilities. And I told them, I said, you know what, I understand what they're saying. It's just that I don't want it to conflict of my faith. And the angel says, you're not doing that. And I'm like, well, I don't understand. And they said, Gabriel said that you have more than just one gift. You have many gifts, but you need to learn about them and understand them, and before you move forward. And I didn't understand what that meant, moving forward. Okay, so so I'm like, okay, I still don't get it. Because I said, if it doesn't, how can you say it doesn't conflict with my faith if in the Bible it says that, not, don't be involved with meetings, stuff like that, right? So they said, okay, all right, and Gabriel said, well, how do you think Jesus spoke with his Father in heaven? They're always in constant communication. How do you think they communicate? And I had to think about that. And I'm like, okay, because I mean, it isn't like, you know, uh, like Jesus was like talking out loud around the disciples because they would think he's a crazy man, right? So, uh, so they had that silent communication, and that part of silent communication is the link that it was like a psychic uh, um, connection. All right. So, Jesus was able to hear um, God and also sense, the people. All right. He felt their pain. That's part of an empath, part of us too. He felt their pain, and he also felt uh, like their vibration as well, the energy frequency. So what we feel, what we hear, what we see through our mind's eye is basically the same thing of what Jesus does. All right. The only thing that we can do, I guess, if Christ and God gave us that ability to heal to raise the dead, that's kind of amazing. But I haven't seen that yet. but uh, but you know, the basics of it, we can communicate through spirit on the other side. All right. So I'm like, okay, that kind of piqued my interest. I'm like, okay, that kind of made me think. That makes sense, right? So, okay, so I'm like, okay, so what am I supposed to do? And they stand and gave us this. Well, you you need to take time to learn about yourself, and this is part of the self-discovery of myself. So, and then that's the theme I use in my Facebook group, self-discovery, because a lot of us is learning about ourselves. A lot of us maybe know we have abilities, but we don't know the mechanics of it and how it affects us and how we work it, and how we use our energy vibration in it. All right. So that is part of our self-discovery. So that's what I teach in my group. So, like I said, we all learn the same type of tools, but it all depends on how your abilities interact with these tools. And this is the lesson for you, those of us that wants to learn. Okay, because the way how I learn is not going to be the same way that you learn. Okay, because some people learn differently. They all have different perspectives. They all have different ideas and how they receive information or understand information once they receive it or interact with a certain tool, that type of thing. So it's all individual preference as far as learning about yourself, and that's the thing that is so. This group is so different from all the others because you don't get a whole lot of lecture, like studies, like books or brochures or anything. I do a lot of it hands-on. So this is the best way to learn, is to learn hands-on, because everybody learns different, and that's how they develop their own abilities, is learning through these tools. Okay, the tools may be the same, for everyone, but the learning aspect and the interaction of how you interact is the learning phase of how we learn about our abilities. It's very important to understand, okay, because that's why I say not one size fits all, because everybody's different. Everybody has different personalities, everybody has different backgrounds, everybody has a different level of spirituality, maybe not even none, okay? Maybe they don't have a religious background, okay? And when I talk about these abilities, it has nothing to do with religion, all right? Because there are some people that have no religious background that have abilities. So this is like a non-religion type thing, you know, that we have. Yes, it's those of us that have religious background, it is from God, our creator of our source. But yet, even if you don't have any religious background or have no knowledge of it, you still have these abilities. Okay, you've heard of intuition, right? Everybody's got intuition. Okay, so that is the beginning. And where do our intuitions come from? Our soul. Okay, so a lot of our abilities come from our soul, because that's part of our spiritual DNA makeup that we have. So that's why we're all so different, and that's why we all have different levels of energy, vibration, frequency. Okay, I teach all that in that group. So please add, join if you like, if you're interested. Okay, like I said, I have 2 courses that's going on. It's continual throughout this year. It's gonna do that. If you're interested in reading, because I do mediumship readings, and they can be recorded, and you can get a free copy upon request. You know, when you sign up to get one, it'll ask you a question: do you want a reading with or without recording? So you have an option. Um, and also to let you know that if you want to record it, your face is not in the video. I have it in a way where it's just showing me, and then we just hear your voice, your audio sound. Okay, so you don't have to worry about you know dressing up or anything like that. Your face is not going to be shown. Okay, just your sound, just your audio, and it just going to show me on the video. Okay, so I like a lot of my clients like it that way. It makes it more intimate and less intimidating. I would say. Uh, okay, so let me see what else. Um, uh, mm, Okay, I think that's about it right now. This is kind of, I haven't had a live in a long time for this channel. So again, if you like the content, if you want to keep up to date to all of the new stuff that's popping up on this channel, please like and subscribe. And I want to increase the numbers on here, so we can reach out to anybody that wants to learn. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for joining me today, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye now.